Trains. They've been the backbone of Britain for nearly 200 years. First Great Western runs the most complex fleet in the UK.
It's every little boy's dream to become a train driver.
Operating on an iconic network.
It's an electrifying environment for me. There's always a buzz.
Every day sees an army of drivers, engineers and workers keep this huge train set on track. Coming up, it's student night at Reading.
Don't throw up a bus station, will you?
The Night Riviera is full of surprises.
There's someone standing at the sink. Thank goodness with their back towards me, but naked.
And at Bristol Temple Mead Station, Supervisor Paul is bracing himself for the late shift.
This is the place where you first meet drunks, the violent people, so any time between now and 2 o'clock, anything could happen.
The Great Western Network never sleeps. Transporting up to 100 million passengers a year is a 24-hour operation. As the working day draws to a close, a frantic period of activity begins. The evening rush to board homeward-bound trains. Nowhere is this felt more intensely than at Ealing Broadway, where peak times can see 4,000 passengers an hour pour onto its platforms. Facing the onslaught today is Area Manager Dean Haynes.
We're literally attacked from every corner at Ealing, from outside the station and from the underground as well. So it's fun. It's just coming up to 4:45 at the moment. From now on, it's going to start to get busier and busier. No, the feel of the station is starting to change now as well, as everyone starts coming back.
Right, guys, one of you's not about to go, are you? What's your bag, mate?
What you'll find is as more people come on it, you can feel like the pressure starting to ramp up as you're trying to get people home.
Right, quick, the door's going quick, quick, quick. Leave it, mate, leave it, leave it, leave it.
As long as we keep the trains going, we're happy.
But sometimes, though, the evening shift falls victim to circumstances beyond even Dean's control. And tonight is one of those nights.
Got bloody signalling problems up there again, haven't they?
Have they?
Right, 2 November 62 is not stopping at Ealing. Nope.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the present time, train services are being delayed due to a signalling problem in the London-Paddington area. At the present time, services are being delayed.
Any information from anybody?
Right, one sec. You're best off, where are you going to Handwell?
We're stealing.
Right, you're best off using a bus.
Brilliant, why couldn't you tell me that?
Well, if we'd have knew, there's no reason why you're...
Your master mileage told us that last train was going to stop here, it didn't stop. That's what your man is telling us.
Yeah, but...
No, we waited a half an hour for that train, it didn't stop, so the next one's going to be a half an hour, isn't it?
If you don't want me to explain, I won't explain.
With signals still not working and passenger frustration building, Dean calls on his colleagues at London Underground.
Take your message over.
No doubt you know what I'm going to ask, because we've got service disruption again on our side. What's the chance of getting ticket acceptance on the Underground for local stations?
I wouldn't have thought that would have been a problem.
You all right?
Hi there, yeah. I just wondered about the Acton mainline service that stops at...
North Acton. Tickets have been accepted on the Underground.
Are they? Okay.
Yes.
Fortunately, Dean's request works, and commuters can switch to the Underground, taking pressure off the platforms. But someone's still not happy.
Is there any reason why they haven't put any notices out before I actually came onto the station at about 36,
yeah.
5:36, yeah? No signs out.
No, this has literally just happened. If you want me to reimburse it, I can reimburse it. We'll do it now. Give us your whistle and I'll go and do it for you. Cheers. There you go. That's all back on. Sorry about that.
Super.
We'll put a smile on your face
I
next
know.
time.
Yeah, right, listen. Some of your trains up there still say on time.
Yeah, I'll get it sorted. See you later. It's not been an average day for us, but with service disruption, something we deal with, something we have to manage. We're getting to the back end of now when we had all the disruption, so we're starting to get the service come towards us. We've cleared a lot of them off now, so the next lot of passengers will be all new passengers who won't be affected by the problem earlier on. So as long as the train keeps coming, we'll keep moving people out. As the trains come, we'll slowly start to get rid of the backlog, but it's a bit non-stop at the moment. We can see what the next one is.
As night descends and the commuters disembark, station platforms take on a very different feel. Reading Station is the second largest on the network and is manned 24 hours a day. The town's a popular night spot amongst students.
Have you got a young person's card?
Not on me, no, it's at home.
You have to go and buy another one then, I'm afraid.
And tonight, the man charged with the unenviable task of keeping things under control is duty station manager Gary Brownlee.
It's one of those places where something different happens literally every day. And don't throw up at my station, will you?
I'm cool for now.
All right, no worries. I think we were all that age once. Vaguely remember it. Not so sure I'd want to go back there again, but yeah, I'm sure we've all done it before, so you have to make a few allowances for it. Please don't run on the escalators, my love, thank you.
Not only does Gary have to make sure the merrymakers get safely on their way, but also make sure they've paid for their tickets.
Because the barriers here are known to open at a certain time of night, then a lot of people run the gauntlet, shall we say, a little bit of not being stopped on the train by either a revenue inspector or a conductor. And if they get away with that side of things and they get here, then they expect the barriers to be open, therefore giving them a free journey in and a free journey home.
Ticketless travel cost the rail industry almost £250 million last year. So Gary's come up with a cunning plan to foil some future freeloaders.
Tonight is slightly different from a usual night shift. It's the first night of a revenue blockade we're doing at the station. We close up the barriers and we can make sure they've all got valid tickets. Hopefully it will, the shoe will drop, if you like, and people will realise that there is a chance that these barriers could be closed, so they will buy a ticket in advance. We've got a very busy train coming in with revellers. It will probably be the first one tonight that will suddenly realise that the barriers aren't open and they haven't got free access from the station. Folks, just so you're aware, you will need to get tickets to get out, and also when you come back later, you'll need them to get back in. So I would advise you to buy return tickets. It's a lot more cost effective. Anyone needs tickets, there's an excess ticket office just down to the right-hand side. Whoever's on excess, I think, is going to be busy. No, you can't do that, unfortunately. It doesn't make it valid. You do need to go and see the guys around there, and I would advise buying return tickets as well, because these will all still be closed later on tonight. There's obviously a lot trying to work out how they can get off the station without buying a ticket.
We do usually buy a ticket, return ticket.
So you get a lot of confused faces where people are trying to work out what we're going to do.
Gary's plan seems to be working, with hundreds queuing to purchase tickets.
Students, ready to pay.
So far so good, but for Gary the night is young.
We get a pretty steady flow, probably until about 11:30, 12 o'clock-ish, and then it goes quiet for a couple of hours until they all come back to get the last train home at 2:24 normally.
Peace out, yeah?
Coming up, the Reading Revellers return.
Mate, can someone let me through, please?
The night train to Penzance is powerless to move.
We're in a right pickle. It looks like they've sent us a dead coach.
All right.
I need an answer quite quickly, whether they can mend it or not.
There's no power to it. It doesn't run, which means people don't get beds.
And the late night shift at Bristol is far from easy.
I think during the morning and the afternoon shift, you can plan it, it's fine. In the evening, you can't plan anything. You've got less trains, but more hassle.
At Paddington Station, the network's London terminus, The evening shift has begun. It's 9:40 p.m. and staff are preparing the Night Riviera train for departure. This sleeper service has been running for 30 years, transporting up to 80 passengers a night, 6 days a week, between Paddington and Penzance, a journey that takes 8 hours.
Toilets are down that way and then the lounge car's up there.
Responsible for the passengers' comfort overnight are the customer hosts. And on duty tonight is Reen.
Night Riviera is a special service. In the berths, it's like a little capsule. So you walk in and your bed's here. It's a fluffy duvet and 2 pillows. It's quite cosy. And at the foot of your bed, you've got, to the right, you've got a little sink that's actually hidden under a counter. So we go in and we explain to everybody where everything's situated, and they always go, "Oh, there's a sink," and they get all excited. Quite exciting, especially for kids. I think they love it. It's like camping, but on the move.
DSM Paddington.
In charge of dispatching the sleeper train this evening is duty manager Ian Monks.
Does that knock out the whole coach or the whole train? Oh dear.
Right, pickle. It looks like they've sent us a dead coach.
All right.
I need an answer quite quickly whether they can mend it or not.
And you're fully booked?
Yeah.
There's something wrong with the last sleeping car, the H01E04. It's just not got any life going to it. It could just be that the cables aren't connected properly underneath.
Yeah.
But as it looks at the moment, there's just no power going to it at all. It's dead.
Uh-oh. Possibly bad news. If there's no power to it, it doesn't run, which means people don't get beds. So possibly not a very good thing. Well, no, we can't excuse that really.
The overnight train is due to leave in an hour, but there is no power in coach H. The passengers may have to stay in London overnight. Mobile engineers or fitters have been called in.
It's ringing, the alarms are ringing, and it's saying it's coming up, the fault lights are on. But there's no actual fault lights on the panel when it's just static. Well, now there's nothing on it, but we're not getting any lights on.
The lights aren't working and the fire system doesn't work, so therefore people can't use it. Really unfortunate if it's a normal seated coach. The trouble is this time of year, sleepers book virtually every day, so we can't have people in there in an unsafe environment, so we've got to do something about it.
Whilst the fitters try and fix the coach, passengers are boarding the train unaware of any problems. So far, the fitters haven't located the problem.
Well, I mean, you get some smooth ones, some not so smooth. Most of them are smooth, and then you get ones like this.
But they're not giving up.
I think one of the battery circuit breakers are tripped on it, that's why none of the lights are working. So we have to get down in the pit to try and reset it.
Even if they manage to fix this in the station, they must be sure that the problem won't occur again en route.
Well, we found a circuit breaker trip, but for some reason the battery charger isn't kicking back in, so we're just having a look to see if we can find anything else wrong with it.
If it's the batteries, then might come back to the depot.
The giant batteries are totally flat. If they can't get them fully charged, then coach H and its passengers will have to be left behind.
This sleeper coach H is not looking good, so we're starting to action some stuff with the customers.
With time running out, the Riviera team try a contingency plan. They need to get passengers to postpone their journeys and find them rooms.
You're unfortunately booked in this coach here, which is broken, which unfortunately means currently we can't offer you the berth that you've booked. Unfortunately.
I need to get there, I'm catching a boat, so...
Oh, where are you off to?
To the Scilly Isle.
Oh, nice. So that's what's their preference, do they say?
They need to go, they're going to a wedding.
Oh, okay.
We're full tonight. Friday, summer, it's not going to happen. So let's hope that coach runs.
There's no main light, just the emergency strip light.
Everyone needs to get on the train. That means engineer Jason has to get things working.
We're now having to jump it from a good coach, a good set of batteries, to get the voltage up, to get the charger going, get the lights back on, get the customers smiling. Fingers crossed. Similar to jump starting the car, but
See, a lot bigger.
Fitters have just said they're going to try and jump start that carriage.
With what?
They're going to bring a cable in, they're going to jump it off this one to that one to see if they can get it going.
You have no laugh, eh?
No.
I'm not an engineer, I don't quite understand all that, but we'll let the experts deal with it.
Still chaos.
This is called skin of your teeth.
The fitters have done their job.
Right, okay.
They've managed to jump it, get it going, the battery charger's in and working properly. I've never seen that done before. 26 years of driving these, I've never seen that.
When we put the plug on to boost it, it needs about 10 minutes, so it's probably going to be close to 12. But they'll have a coach back in service, so hopefully the customer should be happy.
Let's go. We're good to go now on the sleeper, good to go. Oh man, look. I've had a problem with the sleeper for like 3 years.
Albeit 20 minutes late, the Night Riviera is finally dispatched. And thanks to the fitters, Ian can hopefully look forward to a more peaceful shift.
Yeah, cheers fellas, thanks a lot. Good result to finish. Not bad on your birthday. Did I get that in yet?
As birthday boy Ian settles down for the night shift at Paddington, 100 miles west, another key urban station, Bristol Temple Meads, is gearing up for the nighttime traffic. As the pubs start to empty, station supervisor Paul has begun to work through the night.
15 receiving. I started about 10:15 and I'm here till 6 o'clock in the morning. Go jump up there, there's loads of them up there. Jump up there.
Night shifts at Bristol Temple Meads are notoriously busy.
I think during the morning and the afternoon shift, you can plan it, it's fine. In the evening, you can't plan anything. You just have to accept what comes through. You've got less trains, but more hassle.
You get a Trowbridge round.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. 1 second, mate, on my back. This is the place where you first meet drunks, the violent people. So any time between now and 2 o'clock, anything could happen. What?
There's a guy over there that might be slightly intoxicated, but he's smashed a window over there.
Someone smashed a window. It's Paul's first incident of the night.
I drove on 3, smashed all the manager's windows on 3.
The man has damaged rail property, but right now he needs first aid.
I'll get my colleagues to go get first aid kit for me, alright? And I'll patch up that arm for you, alright? Do you got this first aid kit? Alright, patch up that arm.
Obviously, he's had too much to drink.
15 Aaron.
He's thrown the stone at the window, so we've got BTP coming down to have a word with him. What we do is we get a first aid kit, Aaron's a first aider, patch him up. Because he's on the station, he's got a ticket, we still have to look after him even if he's damaged in the station.
Having located the first aid kit and contacted the British Transport Police, Paul returns to the man.
We've got a cleaner now, clean up the glass, but obviously we can't let him go until BTP has a word with him. You all right? Yeah.
Paul, can you grab us, any chance to grab us a cup of tea, mate?
Cup of tea, yeah. White with sugar?
Just white.
Right, yeah.
So I think black and 2 sugars for him and just white for me.
Okay. They've asked a cup of tea. We'll give them a cup of tea. It calms the situation down. But we get that quite often on this time of night.
It's the middle of the night and Paul must clear out the last trains.
What we do is we just shut things down and then we send them to the depot. But obviously making sure that the drunks and the people asleep are off the train. We've had a bloke change into a woman in the toilets before when we went at the door. Says a lot, doesn't it? Right, sir. Go on, mate. Where are we going to?
To Bath.
Bath?
Yeah.
You have to come off here, afraid, mate. This is Temple Meads. You've gone past, just stop.
Past Bath?
Yeah, it's Temple Meads, I'm afraid, mate. You have to get a taxi.
I thought Bath was after Temple Meads.
No, Bath is before Temple Meads. It's the last stop. You've got Bath and then Temple Meads.
Okay, fine.
All right. No problem, mate. I do feel sorry for them. Obviously not the drunk ones, but the ones who fall asleep. It's not their fault, but It's going to be a big, expensive taxi trip back to Bath tonight. It's Didcot Post, then Bath, then Temple Meads. Temple Meads is always the last stop.
Okay, right.
All right, mate.
With taxi fares from Bristol to Bath costing around £40, it's been a pricey nap for one passenger. Paul's not only clearing out the trains, he's also turning away expectant travellers.
Right way? No, there isn't anything to Parkway tonight. You did? Nothing. No, nothing tonight. That's it.
Oh, we missed it, have we?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, nothing till 7:30 in the morning.
Oh, just sort of hope so.
Yeah, sorry, mate. There's nothing we can do. You find that people think the trains run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the true fact is that the last train is at 11 minutes past 11. If they missed it, they've missed it. We can't do anything about it. There's no other trains. So they'll go off and get a taxi. Nothing we can do.
It's now 2 a.m. Paul needs to clear the platforms of any remaining passengers.
Excuse me, mate. The station's got to close now. All right. What we do is we go around the station, making sure everyone's off, and we just hurry them up to platform 3, out the door, and hopefully they're happy. But obviously you're going to get the odd ones that obviously don't want to leave. Where's he going? Hang on, you're going there.
Hopefully, get my wife to pick me up.
Okay, okay, but we've got to close the station, that's the problem now, mate.
Job's off.
I do have a lovely evening. There we go. It's all closed up for the night.
The station is closed and won't open again till 7 a.m. It's clear who'll be on the first train out of Temple Meads tomorrow morning. Coming up, the trolleyed passenger returns.
I might come through.
That's okay, you can't bring your trolley with you, I'm afraid, sir.
And on the night train, driver John's on high alert.
We've got potentially 500 people in the train behind us, so there is a great deal of responsibility.
At Reading Station, duty manager Gary Brownlee started his night shift with a plan to ensure merrymakers pay their way.
We'll close up the barriers and we can make sure they've all got valid tickets.
Gary and his team are bracing themselves for their return. But there's a problem.
Have you got a lot of stuff to come through?
I still have some stuff there from the bridge over there.
How much?
Maybe another 10, 12, please.
Engineers are working overnight on one of the tracks at the station. They need to bring equipment through the ticket barriers, meaning Gary's forced to open the gates.
We're just wary that the contractors here have got what they call a possession on the track, which means there's no trains running on those tracks at all. They're sealed off, and they've got a temporary bridge across there, and they're bringing over plant and machinery and that kind of thing. What we don't want to do is delay them too long, because they've only got a limited time they've got the possession on that track. I'm going to get floods of people coming in here any minute now. Yeah, go on, let's let these guys through. Go on, let's do it.
Thank you. Cheers.
With all the equipment through, Gary can now shut the gates.
That'll do it. All ready to go.
And just in time.
Oh dear.
I might come through.
That's okay, you can't bring your trolley with you, I'm afraid, sir. He's obviously very attached to his trolley, but unfortunately for safety reasons, we can't let him on the railway with it.
Really,
So far, the gates remain unbreached.
Peace out, yeah? Keep it real.
And as the partygoers return, Gary's plan to clamp down on late-night fare dodging appears to have paid dividends.
It's certainly helped us this end, because normally what happens now is we get the mad panic of them trying to buy their tickets in time to get the train.
But they're going to have to get a move on. The 224 is the last service tonight on which their return tickets will still be valid.
Hi guys, it's getting near the witching hour. Could we have your support for the 224, please? Folks, we've only got 5 minutes to get across to that train. Platform 15, folks. Up the escalators, turn right, right to the very end. These guys are going to be lucky to make this. That's it. It's gone. 3:53 for the next one, chaps, I'm afraid.
The last train to take return tickets has gone, leaving some behind.
224 is the last ticket that is valid for a return ticket.
So how do we go get back
We
without
got
getting this?
we got a
get refunded?
ticket for a return.
And I mean, we spoke to a supervisor at Slough Station.
All right.
And we told him exactly. I mean, we don't even know each other.
Yeah, well, we do know.
No, you're fine.
But I know you, but I don't know the rest
Right,
of them.
take that. So look at yours. They've basically got return tickets which they bought yesterday, which are no longer valid because obviously we're into a new day and the last service it was valid for was 224.
We bought returns, but apparently we're not allowed to get a return now.
Where's your return ticket, sir?
I haven't even bought a ticket.
You haven't bought a ticket. Marvellous.
I don't think it's fair that we have to pay for another
Listen,
Yeah, okay, don't worry, we're just making sure all these tickets.
We asked them if we could get a return ticket. We told them what time we'll be coming back at, and they said yes, we can get a return. Paid £8, £20 for a ticket, and we can't get it. Are we going to? Thank you.
Bearing in mind the situation, just using a little bit of discretion, they've made an honest purchase, so they have bought a return ticket. So I don't really want to penalise them again, and to be honest, it could cause us a lot more grief if we refuse it than if we accept it. 1, 2, yeah, that'll be great. Thanks, chaps.
Someone let me through, please.
But Gary's charity has its limits.
Let's have a look at your ticket then, my friend.
Found it in my wallet.
You found it in your wallet?
Among this ticket, I thought this was my ticket.
Ticket's already been used, my friend. Someone's just passed you that ticket.
Most of the remaining revellers just make the 340. But those who don't are not happy with Gary's new ticketing plans.
Can I ask a question?
Of course you can.
Okay, if the barriers are going to be shut at this time of night, can we please have some people working on the ticket office? Because I queued in the line to buy a ticket and had to sprint to a train. Is 10 seconds going to make a difference?
No, I understand that, but the problem we have at this time of night is we have 10 seconds to wait for you, and then we have 10 seconds for the people behind, and so it goes on and on, unfortunately.
Get someone on the ticket office, because we're all trying to use these machines to buy our tickets.
Sure.
But there's, what, 2, 3 machines to use for 50, 60 people.
I understand that, so what we're trying to get people to do is to buy their tickets for their inbound journey. So if they bought return tickets, you obviously...
After midnight, you have to buy a new ticket.
Well,
so why can't it be the return works until 5 a.m?
It's frustrating, I understand, but the trouble is we do have to have a cut-off. We do allow you to travel back on the 224, which is 2.5 hours into the new day.
I understand that.
But we have to draw a line somewhere. So what ticket have you got?
Well, it's actually to Reading West.
So you don't actually have a valid ticket to travel?
Well, it is valid. It's valid to go to Reading West.
It's valid to... So why are you waiting to get on a train back to Maidenhead?
I didn't say I was going to Maidenhead.
Well, where have you told me you bought? You told me you bought your ticket from Maidenhead.
No, I didn't buy a ticket. I bought it from over there.
Right, so you're travelling to Reading West?
Yeah.
So you need to be on the other side of the station?
Oh, what, someone on the wrong platform?
Yeah, you are. Shall I escort you over to the other platform you need to travel from? Or would you like to go back and buy a valid ticket? Yeah? Come on then, let's do that.
Even more money on this stupid train.
All right, cool. You have a safe journey.
Have a good shift.
Not too much longer. He seemed to go off pretty calmly and quite happy at the end of it. He's vented his frustrations and we've taken it on board, and, you know, maybe he's got a couple of valid points. So we'll pass that along the chain, and all's well that ends well.
As the last trains of the night leave service and return to depots across the network, an army of railway workers come out in force. From fixing engines to cleaning carriages, the network requires round-the-clock care, and the dead of night is the best time to work on the tracks themselves. On a section of the line near Bristol, Supervisor Kerry is heading up a 25-strong maintenance crew who've just 8 hours to renew a stretch of old railway track.
We have to do as much work as possible within them hours, just to hand back on time and cause no disruptions.
Over time, stones under the track, known as ballast, compress and break from the pressure of trains hurtling above. Kerry's task tonight is to replace these stones, and the process begins with a special digger that prepares a section of the track.
This is the start of the excavation where we use an RRV ready for the ballast train to come in and set up to start the ballast cleaning.
Once done, Kerry can radio in the beast of the railway maintenance fleet.
Kerry Meacock, the driver, 6 Yankee 11. I'll count it down and bring you to a stop, over.
a giant 3,200-ton ballast machine that sits on the track just like a normal train.
80 metres driver, 6 anchor, 180 metres.
The 800-metre-long mean machine is one of 3 in the UK, costing Network Rail £42 million, enabling high-speed, low-impact repairs. It arrives loaded with new replacement stones.
Like a young kid with a Tonka toy. Earplugs time.
Once it's in place, the process of removing the old stones can begin.
So it digs up the ballast, taken into that conveyor, taken over the top of the machine, and then rather than like 2 giant sieves which shake the ballast.
The special sieve sifts and removes the broken stones. The remaining stones are then mixed with new ones and replaced back under the track.
That's the completion of the ballast. The train will move away.
But the job's not done yet. The replacement stones still need to be compacted tightly together underneath the track. And for that, the boys have another toy.
Basically, where the cleaner has cleaned the track has dropped. So now that the tamper now will bring it back up, line it, and put it back to a safe position. The front section here, that's what picks the track up and moves it in the position where it has to go to. This section there, they go into the ground and they push all the ballast underneath the sleepers. Flips. Down.
With the ballast safely compacted, Kerry has just one final job.
This is called the BDS. It vibrates to compact all the soft ballast to harden it up.
The 400 metres of track are now measured for accuracy, and Kerry can stand down his team knowing it's now safe for trains to ride over once again.
Happy? Yeah. Happy, yeah. That's the tech's happy, I'm happy. We just wrap the machines up and that's the end of the shift.
The evening is also back on track for the passengers of the Night Riviera train. A technical problem on one of its carriages has been fixed, and the sleeper service is finally en route towards Penzance in Cornwall.
We had a little bit of a problem with Coach H, but you guys aren't in Coach H, so you really don't have to worry about it. The boys were on it. The boys in orange, did you see them? There was like thousands of them.
On board are some relieved passengers who were booked on the problem coach.
Well, we booked in a Coach H, which was the one that was broken down, apparently.
Yeah, we were very pleased to know that we had a bed tonight after not.
The worst problem is if the boiler pipes up and you can't have a cup of tea. That would be my major disaster, I think.
The Night Riviera is only one of 2 sleeper services in the country. Reen's shifts see her taking care of regulars and first-time passengers alike.
Have you travelled before?
No, I've never been on sleeper.
No, okay. A sink underneath that counter. Under here.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you've got your temperature gauge over here.
Yeah.
If you need me at all, you ring this bell. And then your light switches. And then the only other secret is the door. It's that little latch at the back over there. Any questions?
No.
No?
It's great.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
All right. Good night. Good night.
Good night. I can't shut the door now. Hello. Yeah, no, I've got it. Thank you.
Right, let's get a drink.
The best part is the customers. We get to talk to them and you get to know them quite well. Do you remember that movie you told me to watch last time I booked you in?
I don't. Was it Fleetwood Mac?
No, I
You know, the first couple of months that I did this, it was difficult because I hadn't worked out, you know, the kind of methodology. But now I've got my plan. I've got my pattern that I get into. And a number of times over the last 6 months, I've actually gotten a better night's sleep on the sleeper than I have at home.
Having earlier left Paddington 20 minutes late, the crew have to make up lost time. And there's only one man who can do that. Train driver John Morton.
It's always frustrating when, through no fault of your own, there's delays. And it's always when you're on the way home, not when you're on the way. But it's part of the job. You can never make arrangements, I'll be down the pub at so-and-so, because the day you do that, you'll be late.
John's one of the network's most experienced hands and has driven trains for 40 years.
I've always liked trains since I was a child, and I always wanted to be a train driver. It's definitely the best seat in the house to be in on a train, unless, of course, something goes wrong, and then it's down to you responsibility-wise. We've got potentially 500 people in the train behind us, so there is a great deal of responsibility. It goes from being steep up to steep down now, 60 now. We're not doing anything, not powering, not braking, it's just the weight of the train now. 65. Clean and efficient green travel, isn't it? Using the weight of the train.
Whilst the passengers sleep, the crew can take some downtime.
Where am I on there?
That one.
Good for you, well done. Not done.
I could spot that a mile off.
Did it? That's 34 years this year.
34 years? And I'm 34 this year. Jay.
Coming up, dawn breaks across the network.
They're all going to spend the day on the beach, and I'm going to go and sleep now.
And tempers flare at Didcot Parkway.
25 yards out of the station. I've never known anything like it in 45 years of travelling on trains.
All across the network, the morning shift is clocking on, getting ready for the commuter rush to work. At Didcot Station, on the main line between Swansea and Paddington, the man in charge of getting everyone to work is station manager Kim Higgs.
Where's my driver? Another day, another dollar. Looking forward to the morning shift, see what's going to happen. I've had no awkward phone messages this morning, so hopefully everybody's at work. So we'll see how it goes. Station master approaching. Have the gate ready. Get the gate ready, please. Good morning, good morning.
If you're going to spend 8 hours at a location, for goodness sake, you've got to enjoy it. Because if you don't enjoy it, there's no point in coming here.
OK, permission to board?
Permission to board.
Thank you very much. Yay!
Because people are going to notice that straight away. And that's why it's good here.
One radio. One whistle. We're all ready to roll.
So it's definitely 8:20 to London, isn't it?
Indeed, madam, yes.
Thank you very much.
8:20, Reading in London.
You all right, my dear? You going on? Yeah, do you want to give it a go? You all right with the bag, then? Let's go, then. Ah, good morning, Brendan.
Everything is moving along well. But Kim can't relax just yet.
Yeah, 4 to 2, Paul. I received that. I'm down with the train manager. Just let me know when it's a go, will you? Over.
A high-speed train on its way from Paddington to Cardiff has developed a wheel problem and is unable to depart.
This is the Cardiff Central train. It was due out about 40 minutes ago, and it's experienced 1 or 2 problems coming into the station with wheel slip issues. So the driver's going to give it a once-over to make sure everything's OK. So once he's done that, we will know whether we can move this train or not. All right with that, David? Crack on, then. Crack on.
No problem.
Let's be on the move. It's a nice sound, isn't it, when you hear the whistle blowing? You know you're on the move.
Hold fire at the moment, hold fire.
But it's barely out of the station when the train grinds to a halt.
Doesn't look good, does it?
It looks like this train is not going anywhere.
All right, Troy, sorry about that. What happened? Just didn't get very far.
I don't think I would.
No, wow. Wow, we tried. All right, there you go. Just follow those folk for me.
With the train unable to continue to Cardiff, the decision is made to disembark the passengers and move them onto another service.
To escort you in the right direction. Hopefully we get everybody on the move.
It's all a bit much for one unhappy traveller.
That was the worst journey of my life. I've travelled on railways for 55 years. 25 yards out of the station. I've never known anything like it. Terrible. Thank you very much for listening to me. It's all off my chest.
The passengers are safely on another service and can continue their journey.
All right.
It's been a long start to Kim's day. The faulty train is shunted into the sidings, and it's back to business as usual at Didcot Station.
I thought the guys performed really well. I thought they'd done well. Kept my hat on. Car park looks good. Happy days.
As the sun shines across the network, the Night Riviera is crossing Brunel's Bridge into Cornwall.
Gonna make my coffee. Waking people up is sometimes a bit of a strange thing to do because most people are quite, I think they're in a sleepy state, so in dreamland still, and they hear a knock on the door and they kind of just open going, hello, in this strange state. Morning. Sorry, did you not hear? I can use my key to go, and if someone's asleep, I need to wake them up if they're not answering after the third knock. And I've gone in with my tray in my hand, and then there's someone standing at the sink, thank goodness, with their back towards me, but naked. That's not fun. All right. They're fine. They had their earplugs in, so they couldn't hear me knocking. That happens.
But the regulars know the score.
I've done it for 12 years, and I can think 2 or 3 times I haven't had a good night's sleep. I always sleep well. It goes up at a nice pace. It's lovely.
The train finally arrives in Penzance, and they've made up the lost time.
It's nearly time for bed. I think I should be in bed about past. The shift started a little bit bumpy, but it's actually turned out a success. Everybody slept well, everyone's happy. They're all going to spend the day on the beach, and I'm going to go and sleep now. We're done. We're finished.
Coming up on the railway, there's a problem on the platforms at Newbury when a day at the races ends badly.
You just came up behind me, you kept me off.
Things are falling apart on board the Party Express from Swansea.
The door doesn't seem to want to open. Let's pretend we haven't seen it and walk that way.
And its action stations at the Penzance depot.
One member of staff is missing, and it's the last suspected working here is on the locomotive.